Hey everyone, it's Chronic Blaze here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing my new monitor. So my current monitor, the Samsung SyncMaster BX2240, it's okay, but I have noticed a couple issues with it. So one of the biggest ones is I've noticed an iffy frame rate if I'm not at 60 FPS. Like, I'm not even joking. Anytime that I'm not at 60 FPS, even if I'm at like 55, especially in Rocket League, there was a lot of stuttering, and I'm not entirely sure why. That could have something to do with the graphics card, but then again, with this monitor, it was also on a really good deal on Black Friday, which I'll get into that deal a little bit later. But today, we are going to be unboxing the Dell SE2417HGX gaming monitor. I say gaming monitor with slight asterisks. I don't know if this is a like fully hardcore gaming monitor, but it's actually a pretty good monitor. Now it has a 23.6-inch display. Now that is only TN. The specs of the monitor definitely look decent, but it does have AMD's FreeSync, which I will be able to take advantage of, and the deal was definitely something good too. I was able to pick this up for around $100 on Black Friday 2020, which made this a pretty good pickup, given that this thing usually retails for just under $200. First greeted with a bunch of random stuff. I am not sure what any of this is. Okay, I didn't think I would have to put this together, but it looks like we're going to. This seems like it's part of the stand. This as well as part of the stand. We also have power cord and an HDMI cord, which I'll probably end up using. But I'm gonna put this thing together and then we'll see, because I really don't want to record while I'm putting this together. So this right now is my current setup with the new monitor installed. I have to say it looks a lot better. It just looks more fluid with the bigger monitor. I'm surprised it actually fit on this desk, but everything you'd expect to see is here. There's the other monitor. I didn't make a video on these, but I did put up some fake YouTube play buttons that I made. But yeah, we have the old monitor still here. This is the old 24-inch 768p monitor, and then on top of that, we also have the new 24-inch monitor. So this monitor so far seems pretty good. 75 hertz, FreeSync. We'll see if that makes a difference. We'll hop into a quick match of Rocket League and see. But one of the things that I don't like about it is the glossy plastic. And what might be a deal breaker for a lot of people, this monitor is not VESA compatible. So if you don't know what VESA mounts are, it basically allows you to mount the monitor to the wall. With this monitor, you can do that. Now, it doesn't really matter for this monitor for me, because this one's pretty much always going to be on the desk. This one I might wall mount at some point, but just so you know, if you are picking up this monitor, it is not VESA compliant, because that's pretty important to know. This so far is just way more smooth than the SyncMaster ever was, and I'm thinking that's only because of FreeSync. This makes a massive difference. I don't know if I have any footage compared to the SyncMaster, but this is like miles different. There are no stutters at all. As you can see in training, we're getting a very solid 75 hertz, which is, with this monitor, exactly what we want to be getting. With a minimum of 53, you really don't feel that minimum. This is working really well. So right now we're running at 900p on Rocket League. I want to see how big of a difference FreeSync makes. Okay, so 1080 is still a little stuttery. It's not that bad. I still find 1080 to be a little bit stuttery on the system, and that's not because of the SyncMaster. That's because of the graphics card. As you can see, it's just stuttery because we don't have a graphics card. Now, you can't see the frame rate here, but our minimum is 32, and that drop really does show, but that is not on this monitor. It says the minimum is 5. Yeah, minimum of 41. Yeah, now the drops are not noticeable at all. So I can up the graphics a little bit with this setup, but that's all on the computer. Now, the next upgrade that I will do is going to be to add a graphics card, but let's see how this works in a match. Now, overall, so far, this monitor seems to be a very solid deal, especially for what I picked it up for. For only around $100 on Black Friday, this is a good deal. The panel is so much, it's definitely noticeable coming from the 22. Now here, as you can't really see it, but we do have minimums of 25, so it's a bit more stuttery, so I'd want to turn the settings down a little bit. That's not the monitor's fault, and I'll probably, just to prove my point here, I'll load up Goat Simulator. That worked really well last time to work, and that is not the monitor's fault, it's the computer's fault, which I already knew that. And this is about the same performance as the SyncMaster as well, so I'm not terribly surprised by this. So right now we're back to the old graphics settings, and yeah, as you can see, definitely a super smooth experience. There's times when it stutters, but I think that the FreeSync is doing enough, I want to say. There's still stuttery times, and that could be just a driver issue as well that I have to fix afterwards. And even with that, I'm kind of assuming there could be a driver issue. Even with that, I know it's my computer. I know that it's not the monitor, just because the same stuff would happen on the SyncMaster too. But this monitor just has better color. Yes, the panel is TN, but for a monitor, it's not that bad. Like, I have no problems using this as my main monitor. Around $200, it might be a little bit more questionable depending on how much 144 hertz monitors cost. It's not a bad deal at all. This is a pretty solid deal. Rebooting the game in 1080p because it was at 720. Let's see if this actually makes a big difference. But this looks way better. So this is 1080p medium settings. Let's just quickly get into a game here and see how good this works. The biggest difference from the SyncMaster for me is, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is 100% playable. It can be stuttery, and again, I just have to turn the graphics down a little bit. I think I'm a bit too lazy to do that, but even with FreeSync, like this was great. Like I feel like on the Sync Master, this would have stuttered a bit, and especially with the Sync Master, whenever I was playing Goat Simulator, there was a line in the middle of the screen, but now that we're at a pretty rock solid frame rate, we're stable around 50 frames per second. Basically, now that we have this monitor, first of all, it's much better, it's much newer than the Sync Master, so I think that goes a long way for improving kind of the overall experience. Because it's a newer monitor, the color is better than the Sync Master. It's just a more high-end panel, I feel like, than the Sync Master, because bear in mind, the Sync Master was a monitor from 2010. With this monitor, I'd say it's a pretty solid deal. As you can see, a lot of the stuff is dependent on the computer. If I had a better computer, this would all be a lot better. Definitely the next upgrade I'm gonna get for this computer will be the graphics card, but I'm hoping to get a graphics card because that will basically just accelerate performance in all games. Now, don't get me wrong, this works, but as you can see there, like there's times when it can be stuttery, and those times, especially in games that I play a lot like Rocket League, are very annoying. My goal with this computer and this whole setup in general is for this to serve as a next-gen console, but on a budget, basically. Because, let's be real, I can do more with the computer, because I can edit off of here, and I can do a lot of other stuff on here too. I can do gaming, I can do editing. Basically, why I built this thing, as I talked about, was for content. I wanted to be able to do everything all on one device, unless I was getting footage from a console for something. Now, back to the monitor, I say this is worth it if you are in the need for an upgrade and are looking for a budget monitor, especially at the price point that I had it at. This monitor is pretty solid, especially with FreeSync. Everything levels out very nicely, but overall, this monitor is a very solid deal if you're able to find it at a good price. I'm not that much into monitors, I'm more into computer hardware, and I kind of know what's good, but this monitor, if you need a budget monitor, it's something that'll work as more of a long-term. Like this 75Hz monitor, if you don't need more than 60 Hz, this is fine. So overall, I'd say I'd rate this monitor as a budget monitor, probably a 7 out of 10. It doesn't meet the Sync Master in price, but it is definitely a more high-end panel, so if you have a little bit more money to spend, this monitor is not a bad option. But that's gonna wrap this video, so if you guys enjoyed, please sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss one of my videos. That's gonna wrap this video, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.